This video is includes a couple of quick tips on how to assemble the waterfall card that we made at the launch, the little Christmas one. So waterfall cards are nothing new. You've seen how they work. Pull the tab from the bottom and you flip through all those lovely images. So I did this one in a Christmas theme just to get us to start early on Christmas. So I just want to talk through some of the quick tips on how to get this one together. So I always start with colouring the images on the card. Let me bring it back here for 1 second, because I add some dazzling diamonds. I don't know if you can see that really well. Oh, but Rudolph's got a little sparkly nose there. I add a bit of dazzling diamonds, so I want to give that time to set and before I start assembling the card. So first thing to do is to colour those images in. So before, when we were doing the kimono girls, we were using the blender pens in our stamp pads, or this one actually, because we're colouring in onto the rubber stamp itself, we're going to use the markers that Stampin' Up carries. So essentially it's really just about colouring in, flipping your rubber stamp over, colouring in the image and then stamping it out. So I just want to quickly do that for you. And the other tip I want to share with you really quickly is that all of the markers from Stampin' Up come with two ends, and you can see here there's a thick it helps if it's in view, a thick stripe there and a thin stripe there, which actually refers to the little thick brush end and the thin writer end. So sure enough, the thick end has got the brush-like end. Now that's the end that you use to colour in your stamps with. The thin end can come in handy for colouring in small sections of stamps, but in general you could just run the thick end, the brush-like end, over the entire surface of your rubber stamp, like such, and you can actually colour different sections, the different sparkly nose on the front, like that. Now the other important tip to do is when you're doing your colouring in, when you've got him all nice and coloured, because it takes a while to do it, you actually have to, sounds good, give it a big huff to re-moisten the stamp, the ink, and then stamp it onto your cardstock and hold it there just for a few minutes just to make sure the ink gets onto your cardstock. And there we have Rudolph. So then for this project we just used the tag punch and punched out those images. Now from the Sparkly and Bright stamp set you actually get 5 different images plus a little sentiment. You only need 4 of them, so choose the 4 that you like. Now some people like to leave it like that. I, however, like to add the dazzling diamonds, and because it says sparkling and bright in our sentiment, I'm going to match it with the sparkling element, which is our lovely dazzling diamonds. So the tip with doing these ones is basically get any sort of glue that you want. I prefer the two-way glue pen, and then just highlight on your images where you would like the glitter to be and colour that in with the glue pen, like such. And I'll give Santa just a sparkling thing at the top. And then all I do is, because I've transferred my dazzling diamonds to a larger container, I just dip it in. Okay, so set your little images aside to dry, and while they're drying I will talk you through the rest of the card assembly. Now the next thing to do is you have a piece of white cardstock that came in your kits, and we use the Real Red stamp pad, and we're going to use the jumbo sparkling wheel that that sort of matches with the Sparkly and Bright stamp set. Now you could use designer series paper as the background for your card, which is fine, but because we've got a lovely matching wheel I wanted to use it. So the tip with the wheels is that I always hang on to them up at the top, because if you hang on to them at the handle they can sometimes wobble and your image can be a bit crazy. The other thing is you can have 2 options. You can run your stamp along the length of your card and take 2 swipes. I like to do it in shorter little bursts. It makes me less likely to be wobbly all over the place. But all you have to do with these ones, ink them up on the stamp pad. You can also buy cartridges which fit in here and automatically ink them, but if you've just got stamp pads like I have, then it's quite simple to just start off the edge of your paper and run across your white cardstock. Now the next thing that you need to do is you need a bit of a belly strip that goes across the centre of the card to hold the mechanism in place. And what is important to do is that you only put a strip of snail on either two ends. Don't put any in the middle so that your slider won't run up and down through the card. So the next thing to do is to position this tag about 3/4 of the way down your card. So, sorry, this is the top. I'm working back to front here a little bit. This is the top and this is the bottom of your card, but you'll see what I mean in a minute. Basically position that band down the bottom. Now the other thing to do is that I've taken some old olive cardstock, and of the photo corner punch, using the smaller of the photo corners, just some scrap cardstock, just cutting out small photo corners and adhering one to each of the corners just to finish it off. So I've got a couple of these. A piece of old olive cardstock that's cut at 2 inches by 9 inches. It's then scored at, let me see, 2 inches, 2 3/4 inches, 3 1/4, and 4 1/4. So once you've scored all those and folded them all down, you should have a piece of card that essentially doesn't quite fold in half, because this bit's just a bit fraction longer than the top piece. So once you've folded them down like that, get your snail, run a strip of snail along the bottom. So this is the this is the bottom of the card, so the longer bit hangs out the bottom. On the top piece, underneath each of the 4 score lines that you've got, run a piece of snail along there, like that. And then you'll have, please, starting at the bottom of the flap, underneath that score line and where you've placed the snail, start putting your image squares onto that snail strip that you've stuck, like that. And the next one there, and then the last one on the top, like that. So that's essentially your mechanism constructed easily. So just the 1 inch punch, take that and cut yourself a small circle, semicircle out of the bottom. It doesn't have to be too much. Oops, just like that, so that you can actually get a hold of your tab and pull it out. Now we can put it together. Okay, so opening up your mechanism, feed that bottom half through and close it up. Now I find the best way to know where to position your mechanism is to ignore the green bit down the bottom, but this nice red border that is there, I try to center that on my cardstock this way and that top and bottom way. So once I'm happy with where I'd like that mechanism to be positioned in my card, you'll need to get some sticky strip and cut yourself a piece, a pair of scissors, and what you're going to do is put a piece of sticky strip onto the red belly band so that you can glue, attach your mechanism to your card. So I've got myself a piece of sticky strip, hoping that's relatively in the centre. Hold that in place, hold the very bottom of the tab, flip this open, place my sticky strip across the red band there with my finger, give it a bit of a push down, flick up the corner and take the tape off, like that. Sticky strip's lovely, but that red stuff gets everywhere. And then I'm happy with that. I'm still holding it in place. Flick the top down and push and secure that, and that will hopefully be stuck to there. So let's give it a bit of a test run. I hope it's working. So pull this, through the images go, yay, it's working. Okay, so that's good. I'm happy with the mechanism, it's working, everything's in place. Next thing I want to do is the snail adhesive was just to provide a temporary binding for this band. It'll actually fall off if we don't give it a bit more security. So the best way to do that is to add some brads. So all you have to do is get your handheld punch and punch yourself 2 little holes, one in either side of the band, relatively evenly spaced if you can, and take your little silver brads and pop one in each side and secure that all the way through the card out to the back. Flatten those brads out. There's one, that, and get another one for the other side. So that makes your card a little bit more robust, and that mechanism is less likely to fly out everywhere. Now the other place that you will need to attach something is for your pull mechanism here. Try and keep it up the same way for you so you see what I'm doing. I've just got a small piece of real red ribbon. The way I do it, there's many ways to do it, and it's really individually up to you. I just fold it in half. I take my handheld punch again, I pop it in there. Hopefully you can see. Once I get it lined up, I will show you. I just take it and pop it in the handheld punch a hole through that, so I've got a place to put my brad through, and then I just punch a matching hole in the bottom down the centre of my little pull out tab. Sorry, I keep moving that out of the camera view. I'm trying to find where to put it. So I just punch a little hole down the bottom, get a brad through the holes I've already punched with in my ribbon, put the brad through the ribbon like that, and then through the hole that I've already put into that pull tab there. Open the brad up to secure that. Not having much success with these brads. There we are. Okay, so that's secured in the back. When you turn it over the front, there it is on the front, and you can always tidy it up a bit and cut some pretty angles. Your ribbon, if you like it a bit, I like that a bit more angular. There we go. Doesn't really matter though, that's just all fuss and nonsense. Okay, so your brads are secured, your band there. The last thing that we've got left to do is add our lovely dazzling diamond images. Oh, sorry, it's not the last thing we've actually got to do. I tell a lie. You can also add dazzling diamonds around the outside of your card, but for time purposes I'm not going to do that. One of the things you do have to do though is to put a lovely little sentiment. May your season be sparkly and bright is what comes with the Sparkly and Bright stamp set, funnily enough. So I'll turn that over and I will give that a really quick as I can, colour in and stamp that onto that pull out tab. Now this sentiment is just the just fits into the width of that tab there, so you could use your Stamp-A-Majig if you want to, but I've done it a couple of times, so I'm just praying that I can do it right for one final videoing. So pull it out, and basically in the centre of that bottom tab, oh, I think it's a bit off centre, you'll have to excuse it. Oh no, I fitted it. Wow, how fluky was that? Okay, so you've got your little sentiment, may your season be sparkly and bright. If you want to, you can add a little bit of dazzling diamonds to the bright there, but it's up to you. Okay, so now all you have to do is put your images on. You can put them on in any order you want to. Now I, this time will put, I might put my Christmas tree on the top. Now feel free to put all of your tags nice and even and center them in the middle, but I'm going to put them all on an angle, one each way. So you just flip through the waterfalls of your card, and I'm going to go one each way. How's that? Just to be different. And so there's Santa, Rudolph, who I think is so cute, his sparkly nose. One last image to put on, and hopefully that's given your dazzling diamonds enough time to set. Oh, now I've forgotten, this way. There we go. Pop that on there. So there you have it. Your lovely waterfall card with the Christmas theme using the Sparkly and Bright stamp set. Okay guys, waterfall cards, really easy to make. You can make them in whatever you like. I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks. Bye.